Just want to point this out, but I appreciate you by clicking on this video. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, ODRKDO Review, back again with another video. So we got our first, or what I say, one of two trailers for Spider Noir. It's a new Spider-Man series brought to us by Sony, but let's just say, yeah, we actually have hope that there's an actual Spider person in this. Let me start it by saying it's been a long road from Sony where we had a world where, oh, let's make new Spider-Man movies that don't include Spider-Man, that included Venom, Morbius, Craven, Madam Web, and all of them had a common factor where those are Spider-Man characters, but those characters don't mean anything unless you have a certain Spider-Man in their presence. But we kind of learned that, oh, we could added Spider-Man all along from the beginning, but we don't know if that would actually help them actually do good movies. It's a good thing that their whole little Marvel side universe was scrapped, but also the fact that, yeah, you have Into the Spider-Verse that reintroduced Spider characters in animated form, but the fact that they're actually bringing Nicolas Cage back from that role and doing it in live action, that's a thing where I said, that's kind of a good idea and something I thought, yeah, just do that, Sony. See how you have the audience actually going up for this thing? The series itself was something I was a little bit on the fence for because you have the animated version, which is fine, and it took a couple years to get the animation style intact. But also for the fans, we know the Spider-Man characters, and also that this certain particular Spider Noir isn't technically the same character as the animation. It's exactly produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller of the animation. But the thing is that, yeah, for the things I've been hearing, is this a spin-off, maybe a prequel, or a continuation in between the story? Because this Peter Parker isn't technically Peter Parker, that it was revealed that this character would be Ben Reilly. And I thought, you know what? I wouldn't mind that angle, and it would make a little bit more sense why this Spider-Man actually uses guns. For those of you who don't know Spider Noir is technically another Spider-Man from a dimension where it's 1930s New York, everything in its old-fashioned detective style. You could feel that, oh, this Peter Parker's a New York detective, but also weirdly that all the Marvel villains in this case are in their own particular fashion, like the Green Goblin's actually a goblin monster, Vulture's a cannibal, even the fact that some of the main villains, like some of the gangsters, are actually low level street heroes or villains, depending on who you want to pick. There were a couple set photos that leaked out that showing, okay, we see certain characters like Felicia Hardy, Robbie Robertson, even a Sandman, where I thought, oh, that's interesting. And also kind of funny enough that it's cool to see other renditions of these characters and mostly the ones we haven't even seen on screen yet. And from the looks of this video, depending on which one you click, this is either going to be in black and white or in color. As for the video you're watching it on, let's just agree that this was a kind of a stellar idea because I thought they put out two trailers for this thing, and depending which one you choose, the audience, that would tell me, yeah, you guys chose this over the popular vote versus the other side. Because I kind of looked at the views as I saved the trailers, and I said, huh, it's kind of funny that the black and white trailer actually has more views than the color trailer because I feel like if you're gonna be doing noir and it's gonna be in its own black and white Sin City style, I thought, you know what, people are gonna like this since this is what more they're accustomed to, and since depending on how this video does, I'm gonna know which one actually does better because you don't even know which one you clicked at this point, and I can tell which one you clicked just by depending on how you watch it. Enough meta text out of the way. Let's just get to the trailers. Color or no color, you still feel like you still get the gist of what the characters still look like. And mostly for some of the villains I actually kind of caught in this thing, I guess we're not dealing with one singular villain because I did kind of hear that the villain is Silvermane, which that's an interesting idea to do with a mob boss villain because I feel like, yeah, we mostly know him for the robot rendition, but I'm like, okay, doing it in a noir style, I guess I could assume he's probably their version of Kingpin because I feel like Sony isn't going to be able to use the actual Kingpin since we kind of have him in the MCU. A couple of the ones I did kind of notice, and I don't even know if just because it's in black and white or in color where I can actually tell the difference and notarize which character's which because we already knew that Felicia Hardy is in it, especially seeing as though you see a guy on fire so you can guess there's Molten Man. You already knew that Sandman was one of the villains, and there was some neat, I wouldn't say texture onto somebody's face where it looks like it's a hardened sand face. Like instead of Flint Marco actually doing his thing and actually turning all sand, or at least increasing a body part to actually make it look like a giant hand or a foot, he actually is a sand person. You can tell, like, if somebody threw a fist at him, you can see the sand show off in his face, but you can tell it's going to grow back. You see glimpses of the origin story in there also, which, funny enough, even the poster even teased where, All right, let's do this one last time, which is kind of a reference to Spider-Verse. As for Nicolas Cage, I can just say it's kind of interesting the fact that at this point he's played four superheroes, starting with Ghost Rider, then Superman twice, if you want to count the DC Teen Titans, and you want to do the Flash, even though it was CG. One role I feel like is underrated, but one of the best ones he's had in a minute was Big Daddy and Kick Ass, which, yeah, I wouldn't mind some Big Daddy action in this. As for how he's going to play Peter Parker in this, I can assume that, yeah, and it is kind of noted that even them behind the scenes said that Ben Reilly is an identity that Peter uses. So I'm assuming that, okay, so if they want to get around the whole, oh, you still undermine the fact that, oh, we can't use Peter Parker in a non Sony property, that would mean, okay, we can't do that on the TV side. But if we call him Ben Reilly, that's a good identity. But having that be the false identity or what people know him by, I could say it's a good cover up if they get the rights situated. And the web swinging, that's something I want to compliment the Sony movies for, where I can appreciate the fact that every web swing is unique in its own way, but I'm not gonna lie, the MCU web swinging I can agree is that not as good as the Sony versions, because you can argue that, oh, they're just using too much CGI, but also it's kind of weird that they use a lot of CGI, but seeing as though Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield actually look more fluid when they swing and do their thing, but Tom Holland feels like it's more like, oh, he's just swinging, but it doesn't feel like any depth to it. I know they're fixing it up for a brand new day, but also it's kind of cool seeing as though that trailer hasn't even popped up yet, and I thought around the Super Bowl maybe they might do it, but we got a Noir trailer around this time, so that tells me, yeah, that trailer is not coming anytime soon. All I can say is that this was a stellar trailer, and hopefully Sony learns that, yeah, when you include Spider-Man in a Spider-Man type series, it's best to use it the way it is instead of trying to create your own universe of nobodies. Venom was the exception, but after a couple movies without Spider-Man and kind of really leading nowhere, because Venom the Last Dance could have been the Venom Spider-Man movie, but they had a little, I wouldn't say differences behind the scenes. That tells me, yeah, that was not the plan they had in mind, and the fact that they reshot it to where the same dialogue from the post-credit scene in No Way Home wasn't even the same in the sequel tells me, yeah, we were robbed of something great, and who knows what Spider-Man would have been the one to fight him. Totally unrelated, but I kind of want to do advise this because I saw some AI picture going around of what it would have been like in another world if the whole Sony universe didn't collapse, and it showed like a photo of Michael Keaton's Vulture, Morbius, Eddie Brock, Madam Web, and Craven actually side by side looking at something that tells me, you know what, in another world, this could have been a good idea if these movies were good. And if they were to make their own little Sinister Six against their own Spider Man that hasn't been introduced yet, I would have been at least acceptable to the fact that, yeah, it's technically cool seeing villain origin stories or anti heroes in this case. If they introduce a Spider Man in their universe, I want to be mad at it, but at least acknowledge that, yeah, we all have a common enemy, and it's that guy. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. All my social medias down in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.